All right, that's better. Now you can hear me. I had to unmute myself. Isn't it crazy? Anyway, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Lunch Date with Cazzy podcast. This is episode 22. I'm always amazed that I started doing this podcast at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of February, actually, and here we are, 22 episodes in. We've got another 4 to go until we take a break. and then we will come back with season 2. So for season 1, this is episode 22, and I have an amazing guest this morning. I'm so excited to talk to her, and I'm sure you will all love her just as much as I loved her reading everything that she has accomplished during this time in the space of branding and marketing. But before we introduce her and bring her to the stage, I want to say welcome to everyone listening to us around the world. Everyone in the UK, of course, it's afternoon in the UK, so good afternoon, guys. Around the USA, India, I looked at my numbers on my countries where people are watching, and India, Ghana, Portugal, Germany, Guyana. People are watching from all over the world. So thank you for tuning in, and welcome to the show. It is Cancer season. So if you're celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to everyone celebrating today, who celebrated this week, about to celebrate next week. Next up is Leo. Leo season. The spicy Leos, you are up next. Of course, I'm a Capricorn, so I have just celebrated my half birthday. I always celebrate my half birthday. In fact, people tell me I celebrate all year round, which is true. My birthday perfectly aligns at the end of the year. I'm a New Year's Eve baby. So as soon as my birthday is finished, I can say that my birthday is this year. My birthday is always this year, because as soon as 31st of December comes, it's 1st of January. So it's this year again. So, we start the year, we end the year. So big up to all the Capricorns. So my sponsors, thank you so much to all of my sponsors. Bacchanal TV and Clark TV Network, C3 Design Business, thank you for your sponsorship. Also, a big thank you to Brown Line Enterprises. That is my business. If you're looking for a new job, if you're in the business of getting a new resume, your LinkedIn profile, want to know how to network online, give me a call. I'll be happy to help. My number is 202-550-2923. And Adore. Now, I love the Adore brand. I remember, spending my birthday with Adore, their winter edition. And so the summer edition is coming up on Saturday, July the 27th. Amazing Adore. It's a summer soiree. If you're like me and you love the color purple, one of my favorite colors, it's still a purple party. It's still a day soiree, and it's still a smaller event. And that is Saturday, the 27th of July. So let me bring more information about Adore to the stage, and then we will come back with my guests.
My baby, my Valentine. Can I hit the Mickey with temperature rise? If you leave me a good time, I swear. You are like the oxygen I need to survive. I'll be honest. I'm loving the thought of me. I am so obsessed. I want to chop your heart. Never did it back and it's real. Open up, make us feel. Yeah, my love, one thing. We make a bad man sing. But then I follow come, love is really good. I got the finish work. Without you, I could feel lose my mind. Without you, I could feel fall and die.
All right. So that is Adore. Can't wait for that event. It's coming up, like I said, on Saturday, July the 27th. Okay, so if you've been under a rock, which I'm sure you have not been, you would know that Hurricane Beryl came through and showed its ugly face in the Caribbean. So I have information here in the ATL on how we can support and how we can donate and so forth. So I will talk to you about that just a little bit later in the show. So I'd like to introduce my guests, the lovely Jodi Covington, Jodi Covington. She's the CEO, marketing director. She will correct me if I'm wrong, because I think she's probably just about everything for the brand development group. It's an integrated marketing, public relations, web development, graphic design, event management, and crisis management group. My God, that is just a lot, just right there. I'm going to introduce Jodi and bring her to the stage. I just want you to all give her a warm welcome. Hey, Jodi, how are you?
Hey, how are you? How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day. I know you said you were like in between meetings all day long, so I won't keep you too long.
No worries. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you inviting me to be a part of the show. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I follow the captains of industry. The gala I went last year. I know it's a beautiful event, and I saw the list of honorees this year. And yourself, you were in the community honoree at this year's Captain of Industry Award. So I kind of started doing my research. I'm like, wow, she's amazing. The amount of things that you have done, you've accomplished, and another brand which I'm familiar with. So we can talk about that a little later, Uber Soca Cruise. So we'll get to all of that, because that's
Sure.
a whole mouthful right there. So Jodi, tell us a little bit about where you started. I read a little bit about your history. Bermuda seems to come up quite a lot. So what is
Yeah.
your connection? And if you can tell us a little bit about how you came about, for the love of branding.
Sure. So again, thanks for having me. Geez, where did my story start? Actually, I have two master's degrees, and I got my first one from Liberty University in psychology with emphasis on marriage and family therapy. So I started in mental health. I worked with low income populations. I worked with the court system, with the domestic violence rehabilitation program for a couple of years, and I worked for psychosocial rehabilitation companies, and then kind of got a bit headhunted to Bermuda. Applied for a position back home in Bermuda. Bermuda is my home. I have dual citizenship, and so back in 2011. I relocated back to Bermuda and took a position running the low income housing development program with Bermuda Housing Development, and started doing that. And I honestly didn't like it. Like I love doing mental health, but I started to kind of get into a consultant kind of phase where people would come and say, hey, help me start my group home. Can you help me start my psychosocial rehab? Can you support me with getting clients? So I really enjoyed that element of working in mental health, but I really didn't know what that was called or what it was back then.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so kind of fast forwarding, having to kind of do the day to day and the therapy day to day and stuff like that. I just wasn't happy with it anymore in Bermuda. So I did some due diligence research, like what was it about this that I enjoyed in United States that I'm not enjoying now, and found out
Right.
that I really love just the new business development and helping people grow their companies, starting companies, the branding, the social media elements. I love that part. So when I looked into it, I fell into marketing and PR. I really believe in mastering your craft. So I got my second master's degree in PR and marketing from Full Sail.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I was like, some people, I mean, it's trendy these days too. A lot of people, you just don't stop learning. Going back to school,
No,
learning new skills,
absolutely.
is part of
Absolutely.
what we do.
Absolutely. So I got my second master's degree in PR marketing, and I started to kind of put myself out there. I started banging on some doors like, hey, my name's Jodi, and this is what I know how to do. I do it very well, and ended up getting a opportunity working with the previous government in Bermuda. The previous they were oppositional, the opposition in Bermuda, on Bermuda Alliance, and one of their campaign directors gave me an opportunity to come in and help support their campaign initiatives. And I wrote the strategy to get out the young mother Black vote, and it worked. And a organization that hadn't was very new. The current government had been in office for over 30 years, so no one had
Wow,
was able
yeah.
to pick them out, and we won. We beat them, and
Yeah.
Bermuda Alliance came in power. And I guess what that showed me was like just the how important it was to just go after the things that you want to go after. Don't let anyone say you're not ready. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. And I
Be
remember
true to what you're doing, basically.
exactly,
Be true to yourself, be true to what you're doing, believe in what you're doing and have that passion, and it
exactly,
will resonate. It will resonate with
yeah.
everyone.
I remember it was a gentleman, Derek Green, who gave me that opportunity. I just love him to death. And he said, once we won and we were sitting around just kind of celebrating, he's like, oh, I got to, write you a check because you did such a great job. And initially I was doing it kind of for experience. And he said, what's the name of your business? And I was like, well, we don't have a business yet. You can just put it in my name. He's like, no, it has to be in a business name. And I'm like, wow, I don't have. He's like, you need to have your own business. You are amazing at this, and
Yeah.
go and get a business. I'm not going to give you this check until you get this business stuff done. And I said, well, I don't even know what to call it. And he actually named my first company, which is JD Lewis Group. He's like, you should name it JD Lewis Group. Lewis was my previous last name, my married last name. I'm divorced now.
Hmm.
And he ended up kind of encouraging me to do that. And I went and did it. I started JD Lewis Group. And from there, I worked with the One Bermuda Alliance. I also worked with the Ministry of Tourism on the gaming awareness project. So now there's casino gaming in Bermuda under the Singaporean model.
Oh,
I
okay.
went
I
on
was wondering what that was.
Yes, 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 yes. I went on to get several amazing contracts with amazing people. I started a second company called Social Box in Bermuda, which was,
Mm,
when photo booths were coming out, I got in
right.
early, so I did really well with that company back then. And then a small little project named Uber Circle Cruise kind of fell
Just a
into
small little
just a
project.
small little project fell into my lap, and it kind of more from there. We
Yeah.
won best PR and marketing company back in 2015. So 2015 was a huge year for me. I was going through a divorce. I had started this second company.
Oh,
I had
wow.
JD Lewis Group. I got involved with Uber Circle Cruise. I became a single mom. I had to ask my
Oh,
mom.
my God.
So 2015 was like that year. Like it was like a lot of really, really amazing things and some pretty difficult things personally, but it
But you
all
made it happen.
yeah,
Were you
it all
living
it
in
all
Bermuda
came
at the
together.
time? Were you living in Bermuda or were you
Yes,
living?
I was living in Bermuda at the time. I ended up moving to Georgia in 2017.
Okay.
At the end of 2017, end of 2016, so like December 2016 going into to 2017. And
Mm,
yeah, I've been kind of moving and shaking ever since. Obviously there's other projects and clients I've worked
yeah.
with, JetBlue and the Pew Foundation and the Blue Halo Project. It's a bunch of
And
things.
Buju Banton,
And the great Buju
the
Banton,
great Buju Banton,
the
yes,
great
who is
Buju
now
Banton.
he's now on tour here in the
Yes,
States.
he
He's
is.
got
He will
his
be in.
visa and he is going to be
Yes,
around. So you can
he's
catch a
doing his
Buju
thing.
concert.
We help support his some of his PR marketing when he initially got out of prison several years ago,
Hmm.
and just love him and his family. And we also kind of help support and do some consultant work with his clothing line still. So yeah, he has a
Yeah.
concert coming up in New York. I might whip up there um,
Right.
really quickly. But yeah, so we are now we have the company has grown. We rebranded to the Brand Development Group
Hmm.
2 years ago, and we have kind of partnered with a gentleman by the name of Christopher Barrow, who brings that technology and web kind of piece and graphic design piece to the company, and have a great team behind the Brand Development Group to see the things that you guys see today.
Yes, yeah, no, that was great. That was like a really good overview because that's kind of everything that I read. So you summarized it very well.
Yeah.
So I know that so you were awarded in this year's Captain of Industry, which just listen to your story, indeed a captain of industry.
Thank
So tell us a little bit about that experience when you got the call, how it made you feel. And, usually when folks get that type of honor, it makes them even more determined to deliver and get it all done. So tell us a little bit about your experience with that.
Yeah, sure. So I was definitely humbled and honored. Which it's very like I really believe in alignment, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not big on like religion or any of that stuff. Like I'm not, and I put that out there. But I do believe that whatever is for me is for me, and I believe that I know that I'm on the right path because things just start kind of coming together
Falling in place,
and
yeah.
falling in place. And so with my company, we're in a expansion and scaling and growth phase of the company. We have, clients coming in, producing great work. And one of the things that we wanted to do is, get some of these awards, so this one kind of, some
Yeah.
of the awards you have to apply for and submit and compete, but this just was a call that we received, and it was just so timely, and I was so honored because it's just, and I think I mentioned at the event, like I didn't set off to win awards and be motivational, inspirational. That wasn't
Yeah.
my story. I created my company because one, I was going through a very rough time in my marriage. I didn't really enjoy working for government entities. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really enjoy kind of mundane going to work and not being passionate about what I did. And more importantly, I wanted to create something to help me support my family and, take care of my children. Going from a two income family to a one income was a lot in Bermuda, which is the world's most expensive country to live in.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty expensive.
Very expensive. And it was one of those situations where, like, my ex-husband, the girls and I came home from school, and I picking him up from school, and I left my office, and we got to the house and he was gone, right? So it was the
Wow.
immediate
Yeah.
get your crap together and support your children.
Right.
So for starting my company was out of necessity. It was out of wanting to provide for my children, wanting to build something that can pay the bills at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
But then something that I can one day transition to them or give me the means to support them with the things that they want to,
Yeah. Or show them what
or even show
determination
them,
looks like.
yeah, like
Yes.
that
Yeah.
phoenix kind of thing, kind of rising from the ashes and building something
Right.
ground up. I wanted to show them that grit. And so to be honored for something that to me was just done to survive
It's
is
not right to
it
survive,
was
just normal. You were
just
just
no,
doing
you're
your
right.
day-to-day
Yeah,
stuff.
just
And
doing the
then, yeah.
day-to-day stuff, just paying the bills, was super exciting for me, and just being a part of the entire process because we also provided some PR
Your
support for the
PR.
event
Mm-hmm.
as well. But being a part of the entire kind of planning process and production process, and giving that support, that consultation process, and I think it was just a beautiful experience from start
Yes.
to finish.
Yes.
So definitely shout outs to the Caribbean Cultural Arts Foundation, Caribbean American Cultural Arts Foundation
Yeah.
for that honor. And I'm definitely appreciative of it. So yeah, there was a great
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, no, I'm listening to your story and I'm nodding because, I'm also divorced with two children. And when I first moved here, I moved from the UK. I didn't know anybody in London, similar to you being in Bermuda, didn't know anybody. And you do get so determined to make sure that you are successful, from a two income to a one income. Very similar story. So
Yeah.
so it works. It works. It does
It
make
does
you
work.
very,
It
very
takes like some
determined.
strength, some hard work, some dedication, but you can do it. And
Hmm.
coming to, it's funny because I moved to Covington, Georgia, literally because it's my last name. So I literally knew nothing about Covington, Georgia.
Oh my God, that's
I
so
have no
funny.
idea what was out here.
Yeah.
I basically told my mom, like, let's find a spot, let's go to Georgia. My brother was living in Oxford, Georgia, so I did have him out here. But it was just, a transition that it was also very hard because when I transitioned here, all of my big clients were still in Bermuda. So I literally
Mm,
got the children here, my mom here, and I left for, weeks, months even. I was back
yeah.
and forth, still working in Bermuda, coming here, working with Uber Soca, traveling, promoting the whole 9 yards. So I would honestly say I didn't truly acclimate myself here
Right.
until like 2020, like until
Mhm.
COVID like slowed me down. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's when I was like, where do I move? Oh, let me get to know my neighbors. Like that was like this. That's the year that it was like, let me actually buy a house
Get
because
involved, right?
we bought a house. I bought a house that year. I was in Georgia more than a month, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm actually here. I can handle some of my own business stuff. I can
Right.
focus on buying a home. I can focus on buying this. I can focus on making sure that. So it was challenging. I get asked that all the time, like, how do you manage being a mom and the travel and
Mhm.
all the businesses and stuff like that? And you kind of just do. And I think it's very important to communicate with your children. Children are very
Yeah,
smart. My kids understand that I need to go out, I need to work. Mommy needs to get this
right,
money.
right. Well, I tell
Mommy,
you something, your kids will understand what it's like to be independent and think independently. Because
absolutely.
very similar to you, I worked for Delta just when the COVID hit and so forth, kind of shut everything down. But prior to that, I was traveling. I remember leaving my son at home I had to leave to get that first flight at 7 a.m. I had to leave him at home at 5 o'clock. The
Mhm.
babysitter didn't come until 6, but he was
Mhm.
sleeping. So
Mhm.
that whole hour where you're on your way to the airport and your son's at home sleeping, the babysitter's getting in, and you're thinking, oh my God, what if our key doesn't work, or what if something doesn't work? You do have to pivot all the time.
You do
But,
have to pivot.
what you're
Absolutely.
teaching your children is the strength, the independence, and especially you have girls, they can emulate
Oh,
what they see.
my girls are stunning and are like, I'm super proud of everything that they have accomplished. I have one that's 20 and she's in mortuary school, about to graduate, one more quarter left.
Wow, nice.
And my 15-year-old is my little athletic superstar. She did competitive gymnastics, came fourth in the region, and now she's doing track and had an amazing first season. She's about to be a sophomore in high school,
Yeah,
and the girls are just doing so well. And I was really fortunate to have like my mother be at home
to help
to
out.
support and help, to help and get the girls where they needed to be. But one thing I do pride myself, I never, I think in her 4 or 5 year gymnastic career, I've only missed maybe one. I remember maybe one competition that I missed, and I was on FaceTime watching from
Yeah,
the hotel,
that's
so it's
yeah.
really important to show up, be there,
Oh
the
yeah,
time that the kids expect you to be. And it's like the expectation that mom is there. And so
yeah.
I
Of
take that
course, all the
expectation
time.
very, very seriously.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to do like a real lunch day because
Yeah.
my daughter is 23, my son's 15. It's like, oh my God, you're talking my story. This is
Yes.
crazy. So we'll have to meet up for real and talk lunch. I do want to talk about one project that I read that you worked on because this is also something that I followed religiously. Mia's Law.
Sure.
Mia's
Sure.
Law. Oh my gosh. I do remember when that all kind of came. We talked about Mia Markana, when she was missing. And, I shared it on everywhere I could share it on. I followed it. I followed her dad. I followed her stepmom, her mom, just everybody, because I was like, we've got to find Mia. What's
Yeah.
going on? And then when
Yeah.
everything kind of just, ended up the way it did, so sad.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful Mia. I can see her smile right now as I'm thinking about her.
Yeah.
So Mia's Law, how important was that to make sure that came to fruition, just from what it was and what it represented?
Sure. So Mia's Law and just that whole experience
Hmm.
was hurtful.
Yeah,
It was deeply hurtful. Mia's mom, and I are still very, very close. So is her dad, and of course Giselle. We're still very, very close. I know her mom and I, we talk almost daily. That's
Oh.
We're very, very close. Going through that experience with this family, it's interesting from my story side of it,
Mhm.
right? Like it's interesting because I came in to do a job to make sure that this family was well taken care of, to make sure that the media, I managed the media. I also introduced them to the attorney that they hired, attorney Daryl K. Washington. um, my job was to make sure that this story remained relevant, and
Yes.
that we help this family fight for everything that they can get, and to ensure that this does not happen again.
Right.
So when the idea, and Marlon Hill,
Mhm.
um, what I would call like the Caribbean superhero lawyer, obviously got involved and contributed to the initial ideas and concepts, and making those introductions with political members, and helping with some of the initial language and the like, was very, very essential to Mia's Law. When we started kind of going down that path, and even myself taking a bit of a leadership role with getting those laws passed, making sure that the politicians had what they need, lobbying, doing the communication strategy to make sure that people knew, getting over 30,000 or 40,000 people to sign
It's signed.
petitions,
Yeah.
making
Oh,
sure we
I
had
signed
the right.
every petition that came my way. I signed.
Right,
Yeah.
doing the lives, interviewing, making sure that the family felt supported and loved. This is a family that lost their daughter and immediately went into, how do we stop this from
I
happening
went to
to anyone,
work. Yeah.
right? Like this is, and when I tell you that this family, they're like superheroes all on their own. Like I vividly remember the day that we unfortunately found Mia's body, and we were all kind of sitting around. We had an initial meeting with just mom, dad, stepmom, brother, her brother, whom is such a sweetheart, attorney Washington, and we sat around and we talked about, obviously the significance of the loss, and like the attention that the case and the situation has garnered, and like what do we do, how do we leverage this attention and really
Yeah.
invoke change. And so that's when the initial discussions came up around, look, we need to look at tenants rights and safety rights. And Mia represented everybody's daughter. She became
Yeah. And that's why, people resonate with it,
exactly
as a
she
mom,
became
as a
literally
parent, as
exactly
a school teacher, as in any
exactly she
capacity where
became
you are. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the fact that beautiful, smart, energetic, the lifeline of her family, the connector of the family, her and her brother, um, you know, to go through that loss, and for this family to have done everything right. It's not like they just
Mhm.
sent their daughter and just said figure it out, right? They took her to college, they put extra locks on the windows, she had
Everything.
mace and
Spoke to
pepper
her every
spray,
day.
and
You know what I
you
mean?
know she
Yeah.
didn't work off, in some random bad place. She worked on the apartment complex, in the
Mhm.
apartment complex that she resided. She was doing well in school, she had dreams and goals and ambition. And we as parents, we as mothers and fathers, we do this every day, every
Right.
year.
Yeah.
We're
This is
sending
what
our
we
children
do.
off to
Yeah.
college. It is a normal thing. It is the parent way to send your children away for school and make sure that they're
Right.
okay. And so this kind of nightmare that this family has gone through is all of our nightmares. And we really wanted to create a communications, a public awareness strategy that would resonate with everyone. And
Mhm.
that was fairly easy to do, because this, as again, she became everybody's daughter. This is everybody's
Yes.
nightmare to have. And this family gracefully lent themselves to this cause, uh,
Right.
while they mourned, while they
Lived
agonized
through all the pain. Oh my
through the
gosh. I
pain.
felt their
And
pain
and
at every
every
minute.
time I had to call and I had to say, hey, CNN wants to do an interview, or Lifetime Television wants to do this, or whatever the case may be, they could have been like, no, we're not doing nothing.
Yeah. yeah.
they always remembered that this was bigger than themselves. So in spite
Mm.
of their hurt and their pain, they were just like, and I used to always tell them, like, just say no and I will make them all go away. Like I was down like that girl, just say no and I got you. And they were like, you know what? Nope, let's do it. And we rotated. Mom took some interviews, dad took some interviews, other family members took some interviews, and we kind of made sure that was spread out so it wasn't overwhelming. And
Yeah,
then, of course, we started the foundation on the family's behalf. And I actually sit on the board of the foundation, the Mir Marcano Foundation, and very, very active, raising funds, doing things that we needed to do to help find other missing children, speaking with
yeah,
apartment complexes and the like about their rules, about what Mia's law is. So it was a massive, massive
yeah,
effort, and we're just honored to be a part and humbled to have the trust of that family as they went through such a difficult time, and nothing can bring Mia back, and there's no way of ever comforting this family, right? There's nothing that I
there's
or
nothing.
say,
Nothing.
um, and period. So there's no but there. Um,
Right.
I will say that the fact that her name will live on forever within the legislative system, within
Mhm.
her area, her community, within South
So it's
Florida,
Florida throughout. So it's Florida
the
and
entire
Virginia.
state. So it was
So-
passed by the governor signed it of both
Okay.
Florida and Virginia. So two
Okay. Good.
governors reviewed this bill and signed it into to law in under a year. So that is definitely a
Yes.
testament to this family's tenacity, to the need to protect renters in those two states. We're hopeful that other states can adopt the bill.
Yeah, we got 50 more to go.
Exactly, exactly.
DC, Georgia, bring it to Georgia for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, like, I mean, the brand development group's role in that case, I remember, on a personal note, I remember a few months after, and we were going, back and forth, and we were dealing with everything that we were dealing with. I realized that I myself did not have time to feel, like being physically there amongst all of this grief and the pain, making sure the funeral stuff was going well, making sure the media stuff was going well, and just trying to show up, right? Like just trying to be the woman that I am, and be the mother that I am, be the friend that I am, be the professional that I am, just trying to show up. I remember not having the opportunity to feel, and in these interviews and seeing the producing all this content and doing everything that we did. I remember one day I was taking a shower and I just fell to the ground and just cried. I just
Yeah. Ooh. Oh
ached.
my
I
God,
just
you're making me all,
like
you know,
the pain, like I
filled up right now.
being there
Ooh.
to, we ended up kind of going to the place where she was found. And I
Oh,
remember a particular moment where Ema, her mom, wanted to cover the area that she was found with flowers. So we had all of these flowers, and she wanted to do it. And so we were basically, handing the flowers. And at one point in time, she couldn't get the rubber band off. And so I went down there and I started like helping her and holding her and crying with her. And um, I remember having to be so strong in that very, very dark
moment.
moment. And so, as I said, like a few months later, I had first opportunity to feel that and to think about, my gosh, like this could have been Amina, who was, at that time was 18, 19, 17, 18. And she was gearing up to go off to college, and just feeling it for the first time in a
You know,
way.
I never ever, obviously touch wood, and I don't really want to have to ever experience it because just as a parent, it must be the hardest thing. It's going to be the most hardest thing ever
It
to
is.
have to
It
bury your
is.
child.
It
You
is.
know what I mean?
I have not
I
experienced
can't
it.
imagine it.
Yeah, I haven't experienced it but I've gone through it with this family, and I
Mm.
would not wish it on
Anybody.
anybody. Like it is literally the worst
Yeah.
thing that can
Yeah, one
happen.
of my friends back in England, she lost her daughter to leukemia. Very, very different circumstance, but it's still. And she was, I think she was 9.
Oh my
And I remember just, oh, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You are still, burying a child. You're
You're
still,
burying a child, and in this particular case, their daughter was taken from them, and
yeah,
they
yeah,
will never know why. They will never get answers, and it's just a void that will never be filled. And there's no amount of flowers or condolences or text messages that can ever, you know,
it's
fill
sad
that.
that they're unable to even get answers because,
Yeah,
as I remember, he committed suicide, correct? Yes,
correct.
as I remember. Yeah. So they will never get those answers. But, I feel in my heart that they're doing the absolute right thing. You got to keep Mia's smile alive. You got to keep, her anniversary. I always remember when that comes around. You just got to keep her memory
Absolutely. I mean, it's
100%
absolutely keeping her
in
memory
everyone's
alive
hearts.
and comforting this family and supporting them and showing up in even the little ways. Like they see
Yeah.
every single message, they see every single, they get it, and they love it, and it definitely is keeping her name alive, and just also I think honoring them by doing your due diligence as well,
Mhm.
as a parent, making sure that, we ask questions, they ask all the right things. So I'm not alluding to that, but, keep that going. If
Yeah.
you're taking your child to college or wherever, don't be scared to ask, go to the RA and ask, what time is this? And, what are your rules around this? What is your policies around that? Like
Mhm.
don't be afraid to ask, to put those cameras on the door. Don't be afraid. Like we have to advocate, and we have to protect our own. And this family did that. It's unfortunate that the result is what it is.
Yeah.
But another way that we can honor this family and their loss is by doing our due diligence and making sure it doesn't happen, doing our best to make sure it doesn't happen again. So from a
Yeah.
legislative perspective, any politicians that may be watching, any law enforcement agencies that may be watching, I do have a call to action for you guys, because I'm going to be very honest, working with the police department when your child is missing is one of the worst things to do. It's so
Mhm.
difficult. Police are very nonchalant. I get that they get many calls and they have to deal with a lot, but when a family is going through loss, the expectation is that you act. There are certain things that police departments can do that we cannot do, i.e.,
Yeah.
I cannot go to Apple and ask them to send me the last place that my daughter's
Right. Or
going.
AT&T or
I
one of the
can't do that,
cellular.
but the police
Yeah.
can do that, right? And the police,
Yeah.
they take their time, and I'm not knocking police. I am asking and begging that they take these situations a lot more seriously. I recently got a call last week about another potential missing child. Fortunately, he was found several days later alive.
Oh, thank
Um,
God.
but I know that the family, when I was giving them instructions, and I was having to prepare them. When you call the police, they're not going to want to take the report. They're going to tell you that.
Mhm.
And she said exactly what I said is how they treated her. So
Wow.
we do have some work to do in
Yeah.
that regard. We still need to make sure that parents and loved ones are taken seriously when their child goes missing. But I digress. I can talk about this stuff
No,
all
no, this
day.
is this is important. No, this is important. So thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Um, all right, we're gonna switch gears just a little. We're gonna switch gears. So we're gonna talk about Uber Soca Cruise.
Okay.
Now, I had my first experience of Uber Soul Cruise. I believe it was in 2018 because I
Ooh.
did it 2 years in a row. I did 18 and 19. I did it back to
Ooh,
back.
so you had some of them good years. That was
Oh, listen, I had the good years before the pandemic kind of changed
you
it.
had but
Yes,
before the pandemic was a great year.
right.
My God.
Great experience. I was like, well, 18. I was, of course, coming from England, never even heard of Uber Supper Cruise. It's one of my VI friends at work that's told me, oh, yeah, you got to do this cruise. So I went on this cruise, not knowing too much what to expect. I knew there was going to be lots of artists and all that kind of stuff, but just the craziness. It was so good. When I came back, I booked straight away. In fact, I think I paid a deposit while I was on the cruise.
You participated in our DAM program, the That Ain't
That's
Missing Me
right.
program.
Then I'm not missing, right. So that was, and then the next year I went in the capacity of Caribbean Life TV. So now I'm in media.
Hmm.
So I had my, media pass, and I was backstage and got to interview, some of the artists. It was a different experience, still very much, And then of course, 2020, everything kind of, went to pot.
Yeah.
But I do remember, those 2 early years. So I've got you to thank for all of that, I guess, because you got on
No,
board
I
very
mean it's
early.
definitely a team effort. We started USC. It's the brainchild of our CEO and founder Nathaniel Turner, and he approached gentleman by the name of Daniel Reese, who was a local promoter back in Bermuda, and had his hand kind of in the Caribbean industry, soca music industry, and then he reached out to me, saying, "Hey." And we really didn't know each other very well back then, but my firm had recently won this award, and of course, it was all over the news. And so he
Yeah,
reached out, was like, "Hey, I have this project. I want to come in and do some consulting with you." That was the first ask, just an hour social media consultant. We need to understand how social media operates. And that was literally the
right.
first ask. So I'm booked and busy, honey, back then. So I'm like, okay, well, I have a consultancy fee of XYZ per hour. Like, you're just coming in to ask a question or two, like, don't waste my time. Either
Yeah,
way, it was great. They came in, they paid the fee. That was wonderful. That was a great start. And
that means
and
you're serious.
yeah, they're serious, and we did the hour consultation. They asked all types of questions about social media, about marketing, about different strategies, how the algorithm was working back then, all that stuff.
Mhm.
So we went through a session, and then when we got done, I remember Nathaniel, who we just lovingly call Nat, was like, "Hey, can you do a proposal to do like social media marketing for us?" And at the time, they didn't explain the project. They just were asking questions. So they wanted me to do a proposal on a project that I had no idea what they were doing. It's like,
Right.
I was like, I could just give you like a basic, like monthly social media thing and some consultation stuff. Signed the NDA. I did the proposal. I sent it off. He signed the contract almost immediately and paid the deposit. And I was
Wow. That is the type of people you want to do business with.
I was like, I love these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
they came in with business suits. They look sharp. I was like, yes,
Mhm.
And they signed the agreement. And so we had our first initial meeting. And I kid you not, this is how this meeting goes. The two of them sit down in front of me. And I'm like, okay, well, welcome. At the time, it was the JD Lewis group. So I was, welcome to the JD Lewis group. I'm happy to be a part of the team. I'm excited to learn what we're doing. And so they started kind of talking. And Nathaniel was like, okay, so we're gonna do a cruise with like a soca cruise. We're gonna have artists and we're gonna have like events on it. And he was going on, and I'm thinking like a little boat ride around the sound, like around the like I'm like, okay, like this is yeah, no, this easy stuff, like I'm like, oh yeah, I could put my assistant on
Yeah.
this one, because it's easy. And they were like, no, like a cruise ship, like Norwegian cruise line, and we have the entire boat. And I honestly, and now I'm upset because I think this is a joke. I'm like who charters an entire cruise ship? Like, so I feel like it's a joke. So I'm like, I'm asking the questions. I'm like, so what cruise line? When do you guys want to do this by? Like, what's been done? Like, what's been done? And Nat says, okay, well, we have the name. The name is Lucas Lugo Cruz. I'm like, I don't really like the name. Is that permanent? They're like, yep, the name is permanent. We have a name and a logo. I said, well, what else has been done? And he said, well, we have a name and we have a logo. We have a idea of what we want to do. And I was like, okay. And then they said, I said, well, who's the team? Like who's the entire team? When do I get to meet the team so I can figure out like a strategy and work with everyone? Da da da. And so they did this.
Yeah.
This is the team. And I said,
Wow.
what? He said, the three of us, this is the team. And I was like, Okay, this is crazy. I didn't know these guys. I'd never met anyone like Nathaniel before in my life, and Daniel was like, "He's serious. This is the team," and I'm like, "Wow!" So we went to work. We started working on building that website.
Yeah.
We started working on building out social. Garnering some attention, doing some promotions, campaigning, activations. We had put a bunch of our flyers and stuff in like tribes gift bags and for Trinidad Carnival.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
We went to arrivals, with TJJ. We started work. I mean, we spent a lot of money to promote and get ourselves out there. And so when the first sailing came out, I just couldn't believe we worked 18 hours a day, literally for the whole year. And like I said, I was going through the divorce, other business,
Wow.
other clients. It was so much going on. And I remember when we first and mind you, this was our first time doing this. And it's not like
Mhm.
we could go and like ask too many people. This was a first in the industry, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
we ended up pulling it all together, getting to Miami. And when that boat took off with the people that trusted us that first year, we
Hmm.
had probably about, we didn't sell out the first year by any means, but what we
Yeah.
did do, we had enough people to create a good time.
Buzz.
We
Yeah.
had a good time on that first year. It was intimate. It was beautiful. All of my first time USC travelers, you guys, the MVPs, the amount of impressions, the amount of awareness that came out of us going out during
Mhm.
that time. And the world was watching. People thought it was a joke. People thought we would not pull it off. We were, mind you, we're these like business professionals from Bermuda, right? We're not from the Mecca of Trinidad.
Right.
Well, we don't have years of experience in this space, but we did have passion. We had dedication. We had a desire. We had a plan. We had a vision, and we had the determination to work on it every day. We took
Yeah.
this big
And that's
wheel
kind
and
of all it takes some of the
we took
time, you know?
pumps out of this big whale every single day, and we got to where we got to. And by year two we had you know um we didn't sell out. Oh, it's year two, I think we were just about sold out. We went
Okay.
to
This
a
year
great
two
year
in 17? When did it start?
2017.
Okay.
And then
Okay. So I did 3 and 4.
yep, and year three, we sold out so quickly with the first boat. We introduced the second boat, and we
All the
did
back to back.
the
Yeah.
back-to-back sailing, which that was quite interesting. Very, very challenging, but we pulled it off. And then, we did 2019, which was back-to-back sailing. We sold out 2019 in 10 days. There was about
Wow.
6,500 people in 10 days. And then, of course, in 2020, which was so shocking, we went to Trinidad Carnival to do what we do, our
Yeah.
promotion stuff. And I remember posting the promotion that said, book your cabins now, we're like open for business type thing. And
Hmm.
I remember about 3 days later, we were in Trinidad. Our call center manager was like, "Hey, you need to post that we're sold out." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "We're sold out." I was like, "No, we have like 8,500 people to sell to. Like, we're not sold out." Like, she's
Hmm.
like, "Jodi, there's no cabins left. Our call lines are are blowing up. We need to tell people we're done." And I'm like, "What?" So of course Nat checked, and we just literally we were in a car on the way to Marcus Beach, and we looked at each other like, "Wow, we're sold out." So we had to quickly, get up, call our graphic. "Hey, we need a graphic that says we're sold out." They're like, "Already?" I'm like, "Yeah, like we need it quick. We need it today."
Wow.
And then of course,
And
COVID
then a
hit.
month later.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, literally, we got out back from Trinidad, all
Yeah.
excited, and then this COVID thing, and we still, we were like everyone else. We're like, "Oh, it's gonna blow over. Like, this is not gonna
Yeah.
be a whole thing." But either way, fast forward, we came back out. Last year, we did 3 sailings, one in the spring, two in the fall, and
Hmm.
we're back at it. We've sold out for 2024. We sold
Before.
out in about 3 or 4 days. And we're ready to take everyone out again. So it's exciting
Hey,
stuff.
Yeah, that's sailing again. Yeah, I always say, this people underestimate the power of soca. Soca
Yeah.
is just happy music, happy times. The music industry, I can't wait to see soca at the Grammys.
Ooh.
The followers are so loyal to soca,
Yeah.
so they will do something like this, like you said, back to back, because this is like their moment. You work all year and you wait for something like this to
Yes.
really enjoy, what you have been going through for the entire year. It's just
Absolutely.
perfectly aligned with just, going into the fall and just making it all happen for yourself. But soca is powerful. Soca is very powerful. Yeah, so that is Uber Soca Cruise. So if you've missed out on 2024, guys, you're gonna have to push forward to 2025 for Soca.
2025 is loading, you guys. Listen, go follow Uber Soca Cruise. Go like all of our stuff. Sign up
Yeah,
for the newsletter. Set up the notifications because 2025 is loading, and
right.
we will be opening up for reservations shortly. So you don't want to miss it. If you've never traveled with us, I invite you to check us out. I mean, you can literally Google Uber Soca Cruise and check
Yeah,
out all the
it's
videos.
everywhere.
So many testimonials out there, and come join us. We have this thing, once you sail with us once, you are a part of the USC family. So come be a part of the family.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Let me shout out to Michelle Prescott. She's on the live. She's enjoying the show. So big up Michelle and everybody else watching us from around. So Jodi, where can everyone find you, find the brand development group, and what's next? Anything you can give us on the horizon for the brand development group?
Yes. So, if you want to learn more about the brand development group, please feel free to visit our website, thebranddevgroup.com. Same with all of our social media handles. We have a lot of exciting things kind of coming up and things that we're working on,
Mhm.
and working with. The thing is, like, we help other companies be great. We are a full service communications company. We are submitting to a lot of really great our RFPs that we hope to get to. We just wrapped up the Caribbean Awards event. We also just wrapped up the TJ Riddick Bar Association Gala, and that was held in Florida. We have Uber Soca Cruise coming up. We also have the Bermuda Mental Health Foundation's Community Walk coming up in October. We're working with Cara Genetics, which is the first and only genetics company that is 100% focused on those of Caribbean ancestry. So
Oh, nice.
you may not know, but Caribbean women are more likely to die from breast cancer. Caribbean men are
Hmm.
more likely to die from prostate cancer. Matter of fact, Barbados and several other islands are top to in the top like 3 or 5 to die from prostate cancer, and no one to date has studied
Wow.
why. But now Cara Genetics, which is a company based out of Bermuda but is regional in terms of they have a global perspective and are catering to those of Caribbean ancestry. They just launched the first ever Caribbean breast cancer whole genome study where they are looking for specific markers in those of Caribbean ancestry and trying to figure out why
Hmm.
medication is not working for us or radiation treatment is not working for us. Is there something in our DNA that we need to identify that makes us unique? And she's doing the work. So we're really excited and proud to have her as one of our clients. And if you're interested in learning more about Cara Genetics, please visit caragenetics.com, check out their social media platforms, get involved. If you're in the islands and you care about health and wellness, if you care about our men and our women, our mothers, ourselves, our children, this is something you need to know about and you need to get involved in, because there's no better way to get healthy other than understanding your genetic code, and that is what they're doing. So we have a lot of really really cool projects that we're involved in, and you guys, that's our video there.
Yes, that's your video. That's your video. Yeah. No, I would definitely want to, maybe we can do a part two and circle back with you so we can talk a little bit more about that because, yeah, Caribbean health, wellness, mental health, a lot of those topics are so taboo, within the Caribbean. So, just Black folks in general. So we just really want to start all the media folks just really highlighting a lot of, of what affects us. So I have another show called The Promo Show, which I do in studio. I'm actually on hiatus right now. Season 4 starts next month.
Oh,
So
nice.
that is definitely something I'd like to, to promote. We don't have to always promote the parties and so forth. It can be
Absolutely, absolutely. We show up for that party. We show up for
oh
carnival.
yeah, we're
Show
always
up
there
for
for
our
a
health.
party.
Absolutely. A matter of fact, I would love to invite even Dr. Karika Weldon on your show. She's phenomenal. Like when I finish talking to her, I feel like I'm a scientist. She does a fantastic job of breaking things down and getting people to understand the value and the significance of your genetic data and how that information can help us. I mean, there's some things to be said around the fact that pharmaceutical companies are being made to state on the medication bottles that certain medication has not even been tested on Black people, let alone Caribbean people,
Wow.
right? And so a lot of our diabetic medication has not even been tested on our genetic makeup on us. So these things are important, and these are things that she's working to change. And obviously,
And I'm
she
sure there'll be a whole lot of people lining up. You know what I mean? They have an effort.
hopefully,
So yeah, we're ready to go.
hopefully, and I will tell you this one more thing because I think it's important for your viewers. You know, the medication that you see out there that you go and buy every day, Advil, Aleve, diabetic medication, prescription drugs, all that stuff, is mainly tested on European DNA. European DNA is about 15% of the world. So 85% of the world does not have medication that is specifically tested and tailored to them. And that is what she's trying to help mitigate. That is what she's working so hard to do for those of Caribbean ancestry. Imagine going to the pharmacy and having a medication that is specifically made for you and the people that are like you. And that is what she's working on. So brilliant young lady, a lot of individuals. That's the beauty of the brand development group, and the beauty of being a business owner is I have the luxury, and I will say the luxury of working with really cool projects that mean something to me, that mean something to my team, that mean something to my business partner. And we are always, if a project doesn't give me goosebumps, I don't want to be a part of it. Like I want to be a part of those really great projects, and I want to amplify those messages and help grow these businesses and make sure that our people are taken care of.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That is exactly what this is all about. So we're gonna make sure that we get her on the show, we get you back on the show for sure. We'll try and coordinate something. We'll try and coordinate something for sure. So I just want to say thank you. I do have just a couple more minutes, and I've got to get some information about the hurricane. Hurricane. So I do want to give the viewers some information on where they can drop and support. But Jodi, I know you were on a call with me yesterday. So the Caribbean community is going to come together. So we do have 2 drop-off locations in the Stone Mountain, Stonecrest area. So Caribbean Life TV at 6254 Memorial Drive between 12 and 6 every day if you'd like to drop off donations. And also Caribbean International Shipping Services at 3048 Miller Road in Stonecrest, Georgia. So, well, thank you so much, Jodi. Thank you so much for your time. I know that you're really busy, so we booked this like a whole week in advance. But I'm like, oh my God, it'd be so good to have you on the show. So thank you so much. I'm just going to leave and show a couple of videos on the.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for doing what you're doing as well.
Oh, great. Well, we'll definitely get together. We'll try and see if we can actually do a in-lunch sort of.
Let's do it. Get me out of the office.
Yes, I will do that for sure. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm just going to remove you from the stage right now. Thank you. Okay, guys, so that is the show for today. It is July the 9th, and the Lunch Date with Cazzy podcast, episode 22. So let me just show you a little bit about some of the devastation in the Caribbean. I've got a video which this will help you to understand what it is that we're going through in the Caribbean right now with the devastation of
whole life. Don't worry, my people, don't cry, 'cause everything gonna be alright. Just look around, tell me what you see. I see all my friends, I see family. Give thanks for life and let it be time for you and me. Come let we celebrate and come to blessings, cause we have life and that's the best thing. Let we celebrate and come to blessings, cause we have life and that's the best thing. Together we go rise and make it tough. We resilient, yeah we proud. Together we go rise and make it tough. We resilient, yeah we proud.
So life after Beryl, this is what Union, the devastation on Union Island from Hurricane Beryl, one of the smallest islands actually that in the Grenadines that was affected, I believe 95% devastation. So if you can do all that you can, monetary donations as well as, there's a list of items needed, a lot of toiletries, a lot of, just non-perishable goods. So if you can donate and drop off those items at CLTV 6254 Memorial Drive in Stone Mountain, or at Caribbean International Shipping Services at 3048 Miller Road, Stonecrest, Georgia. Number is 770-323-1111. So let's support all of our brothers and sisters over in the Caribbean and get aid out where it is needed. That is also always the important aspect of any of these disasters, making sure that the aid is exactly given to the people where it is needed. All right, so what you need to know. There's so many different things coming up here in the Atlanta region. Last, I'd like to talk about Adore. Adore the Purple Soiree. Now, Adore is one of those events that you look forward to every year. Not only do I absolutely love the color purple, but it is still a summer soiree. It is still a purple party. It is still a day soiree on Saturday, July the 27th. It is a smaller event, presents Adore on Saturday, 27th of July. DJs, we've got Big Flex and, of course, Plex, Kesta, Plexi from Inferno, AP Sound, Big Bad AP Sound, and DJ Nichols, Double Nichols. So it's going to be a really nice event. So get your tickets. Tickets are available at vipsocio.com/event/adore. And also, if you're going to be in the New York area for Labor Day, Ghana Authentic Showcase, they are showcasing, and I'm telling you, very authentic. This lady is actually in Ghana right now, and she will be flying over especially for this event, bringing authentic Ghana, authentic, bags and baskets and handmade leather sandals and just jewelry, authentic. And this will happen on September the 1st, 2024. And also on Labor Day as well. Labor Day, you've got something called Soca Fest. Now, this event is coming back after being away with the pandemic. It's at the Brooklyn Museum Soca Fest on 200 Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn. Tickets online for a limited general admission is $75, VVIP $150. And this is on Friday, the 30th of August from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m., 30th of August. So this is Labor Day Friday. If you're coming for the weekend to New York, this is on the Friday. So that is my time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I will be back next Tuesday with my special guests. Look out for information on my pages, and don't forget to subscribe to the Lunch Date with Cazzy. I will be back, as I said, next week. And subscribe to my channel. Catch the buzz. Thank you.